Welcome to Wrestling Goons Radio, and we are here bringing you the lead-in to FastLane. I'm here today with Mark Pitts and Daniel Tanner, and we're going to hopefully get you caught up with everything you need to know that leads you into the show next Sunday. We're going to go back and start off with the Royal Rumble, which was the last show we had. We haven't really done anything since then. DT,
Yeah.
you have the WWE Network. You pay your $9.99. So, what would you think of the Royal Rumble?
But I think the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble itself was booked, I felt like, poorly because we had nothing but tag matches outside of the main event in the 30-man Rumble. But I must say the match of the night was that main event, the championship title match. Everyone in that match was incredible, including the guy who I hate, John Cena. I mean, I don't see what match this year could like come close to being as good as that match. And like I mentioned before, I give it a 5-star match. I think it's a 5-star match. Really, the Rumble itself, I think it sucked. You know, the 30-man battle royal, it kind of sucked. It was kind of cheesy at the end. But yeah.
Mark, you watched the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed the Rumble except for the actual Rumble itself. And whomever decided that it was a great idea to have Big Show and Kane run shot through an entire roster just at the very end to be eliminated by one man, both of them at the same time, is retarded.
Well, I can tell you who did it. J&J Security is actually who wrote the script for the Royal Rumble. So anybody who has complaints about the match, as we all do, because I know every single one of us hated it, you can write your complaints at J&J Security. They are the blame.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they wrote the script for the match. They're the bookers that wrote it.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah, it was
Like,
terrible.
like who really like okayed that? Like, who thought that they were okay to like, have them write that off?
I mean, I guess that they're taking this
Good
authority
idea.
thing behind the scenes too, I guess. I don't know.
Wow, so they pretty much are part of the creative team or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, they're bookers backstage. Like, they're agents. That's what their job is. They set up the matches.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, they actually have roles in the company. They just didn't pop back in one day. So,
Wow.
yeah, late breaking news on Wrestling News Radio, actually. Wow, yeah.
That was like really awful because, like Mark said, they served a purpose that everything was just weak. How they just took out Ziggler, took out Ambrose, everyone, it was just weak. It was like there was like really no excitement. And Roman Reigns, he didn't do too much anything. I mean, was just be in the corner, don't get tossed out or anything like that. And it was just weak.
I'm
The
gonna
Rock
try.
coming out at the end was just weak.
I'm gonna try to keep it like as short as I can because we can talk about this all day about what I hated about this match. I'm gonna start with the Royal Rumble. You need the crowd to be invested in it. I enjoyed Bray Wyatt, getting his long run at the beginning because he crushed everybody that came in his path. I didn't enjoy the crowd popping like crap for Bubba Ray Dudley and him being gone 3 minutes later. That was stupid. Daniel Bryan being eliminated out of nowhere. I still can't explain that. I know why they did it, but now it doesn't make sense because your whole point was, well, we don't want Daniel Bryan to overshadow Roman Reigns. So what you're going to do is, you're going to put him in a match with Roman Reigns at FastLane. So I still don't see the point in eliminating Daniel Bryan from that match. And like you said with The Rock running in, yeah, I don't understand. I don't know who made that call. I've never seen somebody be allowed to run into a Rumble. And let's not forget that Kane and Big Show were eliminated too. And they popped right back in as well. So I guess it's just make up your own rules as you go Royal Rumble.
Well, you also have to think about what was funny was that he came in, Roman Reigns wins the Rumble, and he's holding up his hand. The Rock is holding up Roman Reigns' hand, and everyone's just booing. And the facial expression of The Rock, like, why is everyone booing me, or
It,
are they booing him?
it felt like 97. It felt like Rocky Maivia turned into The Rock all over again. That's what it felt like.
It was funny.
I saw the eyebrow go up, and I was like, oh no, he feels it. He feels that die Rocky die going on. Mark, you got anything to add about this Royal Rumble before we move along?
Oh yeah, you could tell that The Rock was upset. Like you could see it on his facial expressions that man was like, no, this history's not. No, this could not happen to me again.
Right.
I'm gonna kill all of you people.
Did you see the promo on Fallout at the very end of it?
Yeah, I watched that, and then I also heard backstage that he was actually kind of upset about Daniel Bryan being eliminated so quickly and all that.
Yeah, I also heard that he didn't realize how over Daniel Bryan was, which I find. I mean, are you living under a rock? Seriously? How do you not know Daniel Bryan is over?
Hollywood Rock.
Yeah, I guess, but even Hollywood Rock gets on Twitter, and the Yes movement is a very popular thing, so. Anything else we got to add to the Rumble? Anything, guys, before we move on from this awful, awful match? I'm going to go ahead and say, too, like Daniel said, we haven't talked about the main event much. God, like, all three guys. Like, I'm going to go on record now because I crap on Cena more than anybody. This will be the third show in a row that I've had to do this. The whole John Cena can't wrestle thing is done. I don't want to hear it anymore. John Cena can wrestle. He can wrestle better than 80% of the roster that they have. He deserves the main event spot that he has. It sucks to say that. Maybe that's because the talent below him just isn't good enough to step up. I don't know what it is, but when I want to see John Cena in a match, that says pretty much all there is to say about that. So, we are going to move on to... How do you guys feel about how they explained it, okay? We go to Raw. You know, Raw actually got snowed out, so we had that interview crap from the headquarters with Heyman and them, and I guess they tried to sell Reigns as the clear babyface that night in that promo. I don't think it came off that way. I don't think any of us here at the Wrestling News really paying much attention to that promo. We were all hoping for a live show that night, but we didn't get one. We kind of faded out. What we did take from it, I know for me especially, was I like Paul Heyman. He delivers every single time. But really, yeah, they just set up the match. They gave us the story behind it. Guys, anything y'all want to add to that little segment that they had at the snow day for Raw?
Basically, that story with Roman Reigns and talking about his childhood, growing up at the YMCA and all that stuff. It just didn't feel natural. I mean, I give him an A for effort, but it just didn't feel natural. The whole thing with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, like you said, Paul can sell anything. It was great. That whole what I really enjoyed about that whole sit-in interview or Raw being at headquarters was just Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is hilarious. I just gotta point that out though. But why don't they have a wrestling ring at headquarters? Like, you would think they have a ring at headquarters. You know, even if they would have like a couple of matches here and there. But you know, I guess it was okay for what they had.
I think they do. Like, I've heard that they have at least one ring there, but there's nowhere to sit people, so you wouldn't have an audience of any kind. I mean, it would be like an empty arena match. But I guess I get it, but if they were going to do a 3-hour show, they probably should have had more than 3 people there. That's just my thought on it.
Yeah.
Bart, anything?
Yeah, so apparently some kind of backstage snippet leaked about Daniel Bryan. He was pretty upset at the whole Roman Reigns thing, apparently off stage and everything. I mean, he brought it back in whenever he was doing his interview, but apparently he didn't feel like he was getting a fair deal from Brass.
He didn't feel like Daniel Bryan was getting a fair deal or Roman Reigns?
No, Daniel Bryan felt that he was pretty much shafted in the whole ordeal of the Rumble.
Okay.
And that Monday he was pretty upset.
Okay.
He should be.
Yeah, why don't we lean into that? Because that is our next topic, guys. How do y'all feel about how they addressed the Royal Rumble fallout? Triple H had a big announcement that he teased on Raw. Teased on SmackDown that he was going to shatter the core of the WWE Universe. And that announcement turned out to be that Daniel Bryan never got his rematch. I think that's the reason that they're going with it. He never got his rematch. And he is going to face Roman Reigns now, and the winner will be the number one contender to face Brock Lesnar, but I still don't think I fully understand why. Like, they haven't connected all the dots for me. Daniel, you want to shed some light on this?
Yeah. Yeah, that was just, again, weak because, for the most part, we have been ripping Roman Reigns and stuff about if he deserved to have that spot or whatever. Now that he has that spot and he won the Rumble, let the man, try to prove himself, at WrestleMania. Don't try to throw in Daniel Bryan just to put him in the main event to appease the fans. Because really, it's like, how many times are you going to keep trying to do this? Like, even if Daniel Bryan legitimately goes into the main event at WrestleMania or whatever, you can't expect him to be at WrestleMania main event or, win the Royal Rumble every single year. Yes, he's the most over guy, though, but come on, you got to let other guys get their shine in. Even if you think they suck, allow them to prove us wrong.
Mark?
Okay, I'm going to give you some insight of why WWE did this.
Okay.
Because they remember Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg with Stone Cold as the referee. They remember how much the entire crowd hated the entire match. It should have been an amazing match between two behemoths of people, but they knew that they both were going to leave afterwards, so it was really, you're not going to invest anything into a match. So they don't know yet if Brock Lesnar is going to continue on his contract and re-sign with WWE after WrestleMania. So they saw what happened at the Rumble in Philadelphia and how they acted against Roman Reigns. So if you're going to go into a WrestleMania and you know already that this person's going to get this belt because the other person's going to leave the company, the crowd's going to adamantly hate that match with a passion. So if you actually add in Daniel Bryan to it, it gives the crowd something that they can actually invest in, and they actually can chant for, and you're not going to hear CM Punk chants the entire match in between what should be a great match.
Alright, I'm going to go a little bit on record with what Dan said here. I'm going to ponytail off of what he said about how, as much as I agree that Daniel Bryan is by far the most over guy, and it's not even close. I don't think we've ever had anybody this over. Maybe Austin. And I know it's crazy to say maybe Austin and say maybe, but Daniel Bryan gets every single person in the arena to interact with kicks and punches, and every motion he does, they're invested in. I've never seen anything like it before. But you can't use him every single year. And the fact is, as much as he didn't get his shot last year, it was taken away right when he got it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And he came back at the Royal Rumble. Now, I know John Cena did that maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He made his return to the Rumble. But he was also only gone about 3 months. Maybe 6 months, maybe. But it wasn't the extent of what Daniel Bryan was gone, okay? And he's also John Cena. So he's going to have his top spot anyway. The fact is, Roman, yeah, the people rebelled in Philadelphia. They weren't happy about it. I wasn't happy about it. I was one of the most outspoken people against Roman Reigns running the Rumble ever since I heard about it. way back in October. I was like, oh my god, they're really gonna let this guy win the Royal Rumble. But when they did, like Dan said, when they did, now you put yourself in a corner. You gotta go with it. So now, make it make sense to me. Somehow, make it make sense to me. And I'll be honest, I don't think they've done that. I think they've done a really, really terrible job at connecting the dots and making any of this make sense. Now, will it be a good match? Probably. I don't think it's going to be a triple threat. I really don't. I think Daniel Bryan is going to lose cleanly to Roman Reigns. It might not be cleanly. There might be heel turn Roman when there's interference, but Daniel Bryan is not winning at FastLane. He will lose to Roman Reigns. That's my prediction.
Triple threat match.
Huh?
It shouldn't be a triple threat match.
No, it should not. I agree.
We did it last year. Let's see something new. Let's see two big guys go at it. Let's see if Roman Reigns can stop this beast. And to add on to about Brock Lesnar, there is some type of rumor that he is willing to re-sign with WWE if they're willing to pay him the same amount of money, and if he's allowed to wrestle the same amount of days.
Yeah, exactly. So we're only going to get Brock Lesnar maybe 3 or 4 times, which is, you know what, if I'm WWE and I'm looking at that wallet, I got enough stores where I don't got to pay Brock Lesnar that kind of money for 3 or 4 appearances. I got a big guy now on Roman Reigns. I don't need Brock Lesnar anymore.
And the thing is, too, with that, also I read earlier, maybe a few weeks ago, that actually Brock Lesnar doesn't even mind showing up, having more days, as long as they just continue on paying him, because, he enjoys what he's doing.
Yeah, he actually said he wouldn't mind working more days, but however, when you add days to that contract, there's an incentive bonus that goes with it. So it's like getting time and a half, you know what I mean? It's like overtime. He's making double pay when he makes extra appearances. So of course Brock doesn't mind showing up for double the money. He loves that. That's double the stake, so he's alright.
It makes me wonder how much money is he making. You think he's making more money than probably John Cena?
I heard that when he walked away from the WWE, like way back when, that it was already in the $4 million a year range then, with all the sponsors and everything. I would have to imagine it's higher now. A lot higher. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's easily... I think he's the only guy making John Cena money, put it that way.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just going to say this. If Brock re-signs, there's no way Roman walks out, or Daniel Bryan, or anyone else walks out of WrestleMania with the championship. And Brock will hold it until next year's WrestleMania.
Here's the crazy thing a lot of people aren't thinking about either when they're talking about Brock. Everybody's saying that Brock is going to re-sign with the WWE or he's going to go back to the UFC. Bellator is owned by Spike TV, and they have a crap load of money. And they are definitely interested in Brock Lesnar being the face of their heavyweight division. And when you get Bobby Lashley of TNA fighting Brock Lesnar in an octagon, that is going to sell at an event. People are going to buy that. So, I think he may go to Bellator. That's my prediction. I think they're going to throw enough money at him to where he throws the curveball. Because we all know that Brock Lesnar is one guy that does the unthinkable. If you think he'll do something, he'll do the opposite.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, though. He told Vince, I'm here to entertain.
Yeah. First words. That's what won Vince over. He called himself an entertainer. Oh, man. Jesus. So,
that word.
Dan, you are obviously in agreement with me then. We have already covered it. Daniel Bryan shouldn't be in the main event. We think Roman Reigns should be, because he won the match. That's how it should be. Mark, just so you think Daniel Bryan will benefit in this match, correct?
I just think that they should do a triple threat and just get his rematch and his main event over at the same time. I still think that Brock should come out the champion, because if you don't let Seth Rollins and John Cena, two of the face and the future of the WWE, beat Brock Lesnar with a quote-unquote broken rib, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan's not taking them out. The only way I see Brock losing is a mass beatdown ending in a cash-in.
I find it ironic that he has a broken rib because the broken rib is going to make him very vulnerable for the spear. They're going to play off that, I'm pretty sure.
Well, he has a little bit like what over a month to heal up a little bit.
I'm pretty sure they're going to do it at least. They'll do at least one attack though between then and now where he gets beat down.
Yeah.
Especially with the authority, because he doesn't attack the authority without them getting some kind of retribution.
True.
I guess we'll go over to our predictions for that match later. We're not going to get into that right now. We're going to go and move on to probably a feud I didn't think I would like, but I'm starting to like it more every week. I just gave Cena credit a while ago. When I first heard that John Cena was going to fight Rusev, I was like, this is going to be the worst feud I've ever seen in my life. You know what, though? Like, Cena has done pretty good at being the American guy because he's the first guy that hadn't told me all about America and all about what America does and the hard workers. He's just John Cena. And he's coming out there to beat up the Russian guy, to stand up for the little guy. I'm gonna buy it, man. I'm liking it. And you know what I'm really liking? That Lana doesn't talk anymore. And it's all about Rusev now. Rusev cuts all his promos, and it's awesome. I love it. Mark, any thoughts on Rusev and Cena?
Cena doesn't have to mention anything about America this, America that, because John Cena is, quote unquote, the American. The clean cut, do good, do right for the kids, yada yada yada.
Unless you
he
watch
is the
Total
all-American
Divas.
American.
Unless you watch Total Divas.
Yes, unless you actually know John Cena in real life, then yes.
I don't watch Total Divas, so I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I know, but he treats Nikki like trash. That's the whole point of it. So.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
He's a womanizer.
Yeah.
He's been that way his entire life.
Yeah.
But I actually love the feud because it's actually building Rusev as more than just this like monster heel that can beat whomever. He's actually having to face someone who's equally on his level as far as strength. But he's actually showed up on the promos.
Oh, awesome. Awesome promos.
Yeah.
Dan?
With Rusev, it's like after he didn't beat Swagger and Mark Henry and Big Show, it's like, who else is he going to face that's so patriotic and whatever. And Cena, I don't necessarily look at him as the all-American guy or anything like that. I look at him like he's like super Cena, and it's like, hey, if you can beat him, you could beat anyone, but I don't think he's going to beat Cena at FastLane. And I believe that this is going to go into a WrestleMania, and I feel like it's going to probably be like, you know what, I take that back. He could probably beat Cena at FastLane because it could hype this up into WrestleMania as like another Hogan and Andre the Giant moment. Because here it is, this heel who's like undefeated, no one can beat him, versus this guy who's like Hulk Hogan, like this face of this company that everyone likes, and it's like, who's going to win this? So this is like be one thing I'll be looking forward to at WrestleMania if it continues on. But other than that, you know, I like Rusev being a potential top heel in the company.
I think it's pretty safe to say that we can take potential out now. I think he is a top heel, and he's gonna be, his character is built to be a heel anyway. So all he's gotta do is not screw it up and show up and do his part, and he'll be pretty good. We're gonna move on to somebody that Dan has been very critical of lately, but talking off the air, I feel like he might be coming around. Dan, are you starting to follow the buzzards?
I'm starting to follow the buzzards from afar. I see them, you know, in the air, and I'm figuring out where they're going, and I like the direction that they're going in now. Um, of course, Bray's been sending these cryptic messages to someone to follow him, find him, and pretty much the person that he's probably hinting at is Taker. I don't get the feud or why he wants to beef with Taker. I don't get it though personally, but hey, if he beats Undertaker, this would be a huge boost, for him, and this would be great.
Well, I'm afraid I got some bad news on 2 points. Point one is definitely The Undertaker, that is 100% who it is. Two, he's not meeting The Undertaker. So, they're building him up to lose to The Undertaker. But, I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it is, and here's why. They are telling the story of The Undertaker being too weak to embrace the evil that helped him be 21-0. And he became a crowd favorite. He became embracing in the strength. And the crowd only cared about the strength. And The Undertaker, he cared about all that. It made him weak. And Bray Wyatt is pointing this out. Bray Wyatt is telling him that he let go of the dark side. And he let go of all the things that made him evil. And Bray Wyatt's going to show him what evil is about. And that's what I love about this gimmick. Is if The Undertaker tries to cut a promo against Bray Wyatt, he will fail. Bray Wyatt will outshine The Undertaker in a promo. And it isn't often that we've ever been able to say that. So, I'm looking very much forward to this. The match itself, I will probably go to the bathroom a few times for, and hopefully catch the end of it. So, Mark, what do you think about Bray?
I've always liked Bray from the get-go, but I've also liked the crypticness of most of his promos and everything like that. Calling out Taker about becoming soft and becoming a fan favorite pretty much is how he's doing it, and you're right, that's so cool that he is talking about you were all this deadness and you were all this sin and you were with the devil and you gave all of that up for the fans, and look where it ended you up. It ended you up on your back getting counted to 3 against the Beast, Brock Lesnar. You're nothing anymore because you chose them over the dark side. That is awesome. Now, the match itself, the only way I can see that it's actually going to be an amazing match is if somehow Kane gets involved and Kane and Bray Wyatt destroy The Undertaker and he never returns.
That would be kind of crazy. If Kane destroyed... See, that's what they gotta do. They gotta bring this story... This is the perfect time to connect the dots to that story. Like, what the heck happened when Kane got abducted by the Wyatts? Like, did he just go out in the parking lot for a while? Did he go to Wendy's? Like, what happened? We never knew anything. He comes back and he's in the Authority the next week. So, maybe they'll connect the dots through this. I don't really know.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't either. I really don't have high hopes. Mark, do you think that this is Bray's year to break out?
I think that it should be. I mean, I think that he had an amazing match with Ambrose. I think that if they could do this right, Kane steps away from the Authority, joins back, helps destroy Taker, and then the Wyatts, or Bray and Kane, go back after the Authority. Bray can go against Seth Rollins and get that whole him, Ambrose, and Seth, that trio, back in together, and I think that they could tell some amazing stories.
I agree. Yeah, Mark, what do you think's next for The Undertaker?
I think he passes the torch of the creepy face to Bray Wyatt and exits out into the sunset.
I'm gonna go and say one
Possibly next year, him versus Sting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Next year, WrestleMania is in Houston, And that is definitely going to be where Taker rides off in the sunset. Which is also why I can't really see him losing to Bray Wyatt this year. But who knows? We'll see. Nan, what about you?
For the Undertaker, come on. You guys should know that I feel like Undertaker got maybe about 3 more WrestleManias left in him.
Oh.
Of course, Bray Wyatt this year, maybe Sting next year, and he has to redeem. If he's going to beat both Bray and Sting at this year, next year's WrestleMania, he has to redeem himself by beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's just the way to go out. Redeem.
You're suggesting that The Undertaker, who took. How many F5s did he take?
So, I don't know, a lot.
Didn't he ride out in an ambulance and they have WWE 24/7 footage of Vince riding in the back of the ambulance with him?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Do you
It can be
care?
a nice match.
Do you care about the Grim Reaper's well-being? Because that's what he is right now, the Grim Reaper.
Yes, I care about his well-being. Look, they can just make this a Hell in a Cell match or something and just get it over with, and Taker could just ride out into the sunset, and maybe then he could be inducted to the Hall of Fame.
When he's dead! That's how people get inducted when they die, and you're going to try to kill him. Oh my God.
You tell Brock Lesnar, like, hey, Brock, look, okay, Taker, he may look about 80, but he's really about 52, 53 by now. And we want you to be easy on him, take some,
You don't think they said that the other 5,000 times? Hey, Brock, listen, this is an old guy right here. Maybe. No, okay, I got it. Full go. I got it. All right. No. I don't know.
No, better yet, tell Brock, say, hey, instead of like 10 F5s, just give him 1 F5 for him to get up off of, and then to put you in the tombstone or whatever. And bam, there you have it. He redeemed himself.
Just tell Brock to layer on down. Yeah, I can see that happen. All right.
The only way the Undertaker could beat Brock Lesnar. Did anyone watch? I think it was like the 1996 Royal Rumble where like 50 people had to come in and put Undertaker in the casket.
Yeah.
That's the only way Taker's beating Brock Lesnar.
Not only that, you know how
after
that spot ended? Yokozuna's fat ass sat on the casket. Like, how are you getting out of that? You're not. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious, Mark. Good
Come
call.
on, you gotta let Undertaker redeem himself, man. Come on, that one. Come on. I can't go on with like thinking that the Undertaker's streak is.
I don't understand.
But we have to think of.
Like, why wouldn't the other 20 guys not say they want to redeem themselves?
I mean, look, because he didn't lose them.
But they lost to him.
I think you should give Brock and Taker another match at WrestleMania in like 2 more years.
They'll wind up doing it Rocky V style, where they do it in the back of an alley. It'll be like a Houston street fight where Brock just challenges them in the middle of a bar. I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Now, we're going to talk about our favorite part of the show. This is what we have been waiting to get to. Wrestling News Radio, if you were a listener to us before, we haven't talked about NXT much. Well, guess what? We are going to start covering more NXT. Why? Because it's our show, and it's our favorite show to watch, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So, we are going to talk about NXT Rival, which was the latest show on February the 11th, which was 4 days ago, and it was by far the best WWE produced show I have watched in, God, probably since WrestleMania last year. Yeah, I don't even know where. I guess we'll just start with the whole show. What do you say, Dan? We started the night off with the tag match. We had Wesley and Blake, I think. They fought the Lucha Dragons and kept their tag titles.
It sucked.
And then it was terrible.
Yeah, I was like hoping that I got the chance to see Enzo more, but I didn't. But it sucked. I don't even know who these guys they was facing. These no namers.
Well, they're the tag team champions,
Yeah,
actually.
that's all I can say about that.
Yeah, they're the tag team champions. Now, here's the funny thing about Westland Blake is they didn't even have entrance music 3 weeks ago, and now they're the tag team champions. So I can't really explain that, but whatever. It is what it is. Mark, any thoughts on the tag team division in NXT?
Just one correction: the NXT started with Atami and Tyler Breeze,
Okay,
but
yes it did, yeah.
the tag team, that's pretty much the Lucha Dragons are getting called up.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, one of them's already there, so, I mean, only the other one getting called up. Speaking of which, Sin Cara's been on a winning streak lately. He's been meeting somebody on Raw every week. I don't know who. I forget who it is.
I
Somebody.
don't understand why they being called up.
Why are they being called up? Well, Kalisto is a really popular guy from the Indies, and he's been in waiting for a while. Sin Cara has been working double duty the whole time. He never left the main roster. So, I mean, it's not really, only one of them's really getting called up now. I'm thrilled, and this is only a rumor. I heard a rumor starting a couple of weeks ago that they were taking the mask off Kalisto and turning him into a gay hairdresser. Now I've heard that they have scrapped that. Please, dear God, let them scrap that. Please, oh God.
What was they scripting?
Kalisto, the little guy in the Lucha Dragons.
Yeah.
They were going to turn him into a gay hairdresser. They were going to take the mask off of him and make him a gay hairdresser. But I think that Vince has changed his mind. We can only hope. So, I said the same thing, though, when they turned Leo Kruger into Adam Rose. I said, oh my God, they'll never do that. And I was wrong, so who knows? We'll see.
I mean, they do have Darren Young.
Yeah, I mean...
They better not do that to Kalisto.
I pray so much. Because he's so good. And that's the thing, you know what, as a matter of fact, I would not have called them up to the roster yet without splitting them up. Like, Kalisto needs an identity of his own before you bring him up to the roster. Because right now, he's just the other guy, the weak guy in the Lucha Dragons to me. Because I see Sin Cara doing all the strong spots. I'm like, okay, whatever. I can't get invested in him if I don't have any identity to him. That's my thought on that. We're going to go next, seeing how Mark touched on it. Tommy and Breeze, I thought it was an underrated match. They sold out. I think Tyler Breeze can work with anyone. Like, everybody's going to talk about these 5 guys on NXT, Tommy, Baylor, Owen, Zayn, and Neville, but Tyler Breeze deserves to be in that category. He is right there with those guys. And if you put him in a ring with them, he'll perform with them every single time. And Tommy is still struggling to adapt to this WWE style. He really is. They're limiting him a lot with his moveset, which they're doing the same thing with Owens. I don't know why they're doing this, but I don't think it's going to hurt him, because the crowd just loves Tommy. They love Kenta, but it's also not going to get him over either. Like, I don't know how high his ceiling is. That's my feeling about him right now. Mark, what do you feel about the Tommy Breeze match?
Prince Pretty is amazing. He's going to be able to play that whole HBK sexy boy role more. It's better than Dolph ever played it, better than The Miz played it. Tyler Breeze is amazing. Tommy, I think he's gotten a little bit more comfortable with the WWE style, but you're right. I mean, you can still see that he's holding back something. It's kind of like how Daniel Bryan, whenever he first came in, whenever he was with Nexus, he didn't have that WWE style, and he just went ham. And then that's how he got fired, for being overly aggressive. And I think Tommy doesn't want to have that happen to him. Maybe. Who knows?
That's a pretty good analogy. I never thought of it that way before. I hope that's not the case because I want to see a lot more fierce. Dan, you watch this match? No.
Yeah. So with the match between Breeze and
Hideo.
I think his name is. I don't know. That was pretty cool. No, I used the NXT 5. I think it's going to be like the weakest link out of the 5 for some reason because I just can't connect to him really.
I feel like that was going to be the problem with Hideo and Tommy the whole time, is that we're not going to be able to identify with him because he can't cut promos in my language. He doesn't have a translator. He doesn't have a manager. I can only relate to what you're doing in the ring. Like, that's the only thing I can connect to you with. I agree. I think he's going to be the lowest one out of all the 5. We're going to move on now to probably the best match I've seen, and God, I don't even know how long. Finn Balor and Adrian Neville for the #1 contendership for the NXT Championship. It stole the show. It made a lot of wrestlers on Raw really pissed off because they can't live up to that kind of match, and they know it. The psychology was incredible. I haven't seen anything that genius in a long time. I don't have enough good words to say about it, so I will let Mark start us off. Mark, Finn Balor, Adrian Neville.
Can I just say that the whole NXT and them doing tournament formats is pretty amazing, and I wish that Raw and the main roster would do more of that.
Yep.
But the match itself, it was pretty cool. They had a great number of spots, a great number of false finishes in between them. Those two can fly. They can do technical work. Just the characters themselves really resonate with the crowd itself, and like you just become emotionally invested in this match. And one of my favorite moves nowadays is Baylor's, I guess, brainbuster suplex. That's pretty cool. I like that. It was just a great match all around. Like I said, everything from technical work to high flying, even to some of the moves off the top rope. It's just amazing.
Dan, are you with us? Dan?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Finn Balor and Adrian Neville match.
Oh, yeah, that match right there. To be honest with you, I thought that match was better than the Owens and Sami Zayn match. Baylor's interest is cool. At the same time, can't compare to like the E-Man's entrance, but much cooler and everything. That it was just nonstop like awesomeness in that match.
I enjoyed all the false finishes. Like, that's something that Doreen doesn't really understand about how you can't just give me a 2 count without the move be like, wow, that really almost made it 2 count. I can see how that was almost a pinfall. Yeah, I don't buy it when you just do a basic clothesline and you have them out in the 2. Like, I'm like, okay, they're gonna kick out. There were 5 or 6 times in that match where I told myself that this is the final spot, and it wasn't the final spot. So, I love when that happens in a wrestling match. That's my favorite part about watching wrestling, is if you can take me farther than I think it's gonna go, then you've done your job as a booker, to me. So, that match is phenomenal. Can't say enough about it. We are gonna talk, lastly, before we get into the title match, about something that was gonna go unnoticed, but I'm gonna mention it. The Divas NXT Women's title match, the Fatal 4-Way, was probably the best women's match I've seen since Trish and Lita. And I think you're all going to notice that we're probably saying the best of a lot in this podcast. That just goes to show you how good NXT Rival was. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Go watch this women's match, please, because you won't regret it. Mark, you're a Sasha Banks fan. What did you think of this Fatal 4-Way?
Okay, so starting out, I absolutely loved. I love Sasha. Sasha pretty much deserves the women's title, but that's not taking away from Becky Lynch, who has been doing this sport for years, all the way in Japan, and has traveled the world doing it. Bayley, just coming from a fan, Bayley is probably the most underrated woman who can put over everyone else and still put on a great match. And then you have Charlotte, who, like she likes to claim and says, she's just genetically superior. You have Ric Flair's daughter, who was a gymnast at one point in time, who has actually taken this craft and has really got it down to a science in a few short years. And it shows that these women not only want to be there, but they're deciding that they want to do it better than these quote-unquote total divas, which sadly, if Vince ruins these women's career because he wants some supermodel that can quote-unquote sports entertain people and not hold it down in a ring, I'm gonna be mad. I'd rather have Paige, Emma, Summer Rae, AJ, Natalia go down to NXT, and they just have a women's division down there with true wrestling women, than have any of the NXT people come up and get ruined by a total diva.
Mark, let me ask you this. Do you know who produces Monday Night Raw and SmackDown?
Do I know who produces it?
Yeah, I mean, we know Vince McMahon does, but who's in the truck?
I have no clue of that. I just know that Vince wants some supermodel.
Yeah, Kevin Dunn is actually the one.
Yeah, sorry, I knew that.
And Kevin Dunn, but if Kevin Dunn is running Raw or SmackDown, I promise you that these girls will be buried when they get on the roster. Because they are wrestlers, they are not. If any of them have a shot to not be buried, it will be Charlotte. But let's also remember that while she was NXT champion, she tapped out from the woman she beat 3 days ago on NXT on Monday Night Raw in 2.5 minutes. So, yeah, I don't really like their chances of getting over. I really don't. Are they the best? And you know what though? That's the same for Alicia Fox. Because I can sit here and tell you, when you mention the top divas in wrestling, you're going to mention AJ, you're going to mention Natty. A lot of people are just going to skip right over Alicia Fox because she gets buried. Alicia Fox can wrestle better than almost everybody there. Like, she can go.
She has improved, but at the start of when she came in, she botched so often, especially that scissors kick. I mean, how you can botch a scissors kick is beyond me, but she has improved. But like I said, I mean, Nikki and Brie have improved. I still wouldn't put them in the top category of women wrestlers, though. But they've all improved.
Dan, did you watch this match? Alright, Dan is out of this conversation until the rest of it. Show me and Mark for the rest of this. Mark, any last thoughts on the Divas before we move to the main event?
It was, like you said, it was probably the best Divas match I've seen since Trish and Lita. And they don't deserve to get buried in Raw. Just stay down in NXT.
Amen. That will move us on to the main event. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Oh man, they threw this funeral together really fast, Mark. It was fast forward, right? I mean, they just interrupted each other what 3 or 4 weeks ago, and here we go. We got a title match. What do you think?
Yeah, I was wondering if they were just gonna just automatically throw Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn like this, because I mean, we all knew us that like really watch NXT and really watch independent wrestling and stuff. I mean, we already knew the history, and I'm glad Triple H took advantage of it, and he said, "All right, well, I know who watches NXT, the hardcore fans. Okay, y'all already know this story. I'm just going to give you the WWE version of it." And I think for the amount of time so far in the feud, they've made it pretty decent. They told the story. Hey, we're best friends, but it doesn't mean anything now. I'm here at the top spot. This is where I've wanted to be my entire career, and I'm not going to let a friendship come between me and my title and me and that paycheck for my wife and my kids. I'm not going to let anything come between that. This is my destiny. I will do anything in order to get my spot and where I think I deserve.
Here's something I took out of this feud for myself is I'm a huge Kevin Steen fan. I'm probably the biggest Kevin Steen fan of Kevin Steen fans. I've seen every piece of work he had in Ring of Honor, PWG. If it happened, I've watched it. I love Kevin Steen. This is the first time I can remember him being in a feud where he lost the promo battle. Like every time that him and Sami Zayn had to face each other, he lost. Sami Zayn beat him in the promo. And I don't know if Kevin is just there for the paycheck. I don't know if he's... I can't tell. I don't know, Mark, if you get this feeling like I do, but it feels like Kevin's heart really isn't in it. What do you think?
I think that's what him and Triple H have concocted together to portray, that he's just in it for a paycheck now, that this is a means to an end for him, and as long as it gets his family done, then he's going to go out there and he's going to fight Owens' fight, he's going to kill Owens' kill, and he's going to go home. And I think eventually he'll come more into the promo. But I mean, that's like Dean Ambrose. I mean, John Moxley on the mic. Like, are you serious?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like that, he was insane. Like, you couldn't touch him with a microphone. That was a pipe bomb. That was more than what CM Punk ever put into a pipe bomb. But it's a little bit different being WWE. And I think either Kevin just doesn't want to have that big long promo, or he just really wants to get the point across that this is all about what happens in that squared circle, and he's just going to fight.
As big of a, I guess the only reason I can see this making sense is, I don't think they gave Sami a long enough run with this belt. Like, we had this whole road to redemption that they built up for like 3 or 4 months of Sami getting this, payback and getting to the top and climbing the mountain, and right when he gets there, Kevin Steen knocks him right off the perch. It looks like Steen's gonna get a good run with this for a minute. I think he's gonna have a good long Eva Baylor here. He'll probably have to fight Neville once or twice. You might see him at Caprice somewhere, but yeah, I can see Owens having the belt for a good long while now.
I don't see that. I mean, like, let's put it this way. Sami Zayn reminds me of Daniel Bryan, and the fact that he's had this road to redemption, he's climbed that mountain, he's gotten everything, and he finally got to the top of that mountain. What happened to Daniel? Unfortunately, he got injured and he had to give it away, and he went back down that mountain. Same with Sami. He climbed this mountain. He persevered through all of this hardship just to have his best friend come and just take that mountain and crumble it. So now, whenever he comes back, I think it's going to be him versus Baylor's next for Kevin Owens, and I think they're going to keep Sammy off TV for a little while. Baylor versus Kevin Owens will be great. I think Kevin Owens will continue that title. And then I think Sammy comes back for his other redemption and finally takes that monkey off his back and actually beats his best friend for the title.
That's a good call. I definitely think there's got to be redemption at some point. I just don't know when it'll be. I guess the last thing we're going to lead into is your FastLane prediction, Mark. Who do you got? Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan. You are going to go on record as Daniel Bryan, correct? He's beating Roman Reigns? Are they going to find a way to have a tie or a no DQ? How are they doing this?
I think there's going to be some kind of tomfoolery. I think this doesn't end square on either way. Either you have the Authority come in and cheat Daniel Bryan, or Seth Rollins comes in, or maybe Brock just comes in and destroys both of them. I really don't know, but I don't think that you can end this at someone getting a pinfall over another. I think it ends some kind of awkward way.
I agree. I have a feeling that it's gonna be Roman Reigns turning heel. I don't think they have any other option, really. And Daniel Bryan is obviously gonna be your top face. You need a top heel to go against. It writes itself. One guy is the chosen one. The other guy is the wrestler who had the script for everything. It's got $1 million written on it to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go with Roman, actually. So I'm gonna go with Roman joining the Authority. That is my call. Mark has somehow in a squash, or we're having a triple threat, and Dan agrees with me that Roman is going over. We apologize for Dan. He had some technical difficulties and had to leave early. We will be with you guys shortly, probably within the next couple of weeks, maybe within the next week. We're going to get ready in a WrestleMania season, so we are going to pick things up fast and furious all the way into it and follow into post-Mania and keep things rolling. Mark, any last thoughts?
Not really. Hopefully everything starts to pan out to WrestleMania. Can't wait until The Undertaker shows up. I think that'll be great. I think we're going to get a Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania. So hopefully this WrestleMania turns out pretty good. It has a nice full card on it.
Well, one thing is for certain, in the WWE, nothing is for certain. So, for Mark and for Dan and myself, we will see you on the flip side.